That's the lesson that you take from this. Don't ever, ever, ever give up on someone.
When it comes down to it, it's a very difficult sport.
I enjoy the people that are here.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Welcome to Community Close-Up. I'm Joe Nelson. Today we meet a Coon Rapids family who is taking jabs and breaking sweats together. After nearly a year of preparation, downtown Anoka's first taproom is opening. We'll give you a taste of what it has to offer. And with the country celebrating its veterans, we introduce you to a group that meets each week and helps its fellow members along the way. But first, for many it's an accomplishment to finish a marathon, but a team from Coon Rapids has much bigger goals. We found out how living and training here helped 3 men finish in the top 6 in the Twin Cities Marathon, with thousands chasing them.
When I'm in competition, I laugh when I have people behind me.
So I want to run my personal best to win some marathons here in US, because it is my first time to be in US and I want to be a champion here in US. But I would like one time to run Olympics.
And also I would love to do the Olympics, which is next year. But of course, it depends on the training.
Winning marathons or half marathons and competing in the Olympics are lofty goals for many runners. But for members of this club, those dreams aren't far from reality. Jibishi Yator has won 5 half marathons since July.
It was so good. I was so happy because it's my first time. It was my first time to be there.
Her winning 13.1 mile times ranged from 1 hour 22 minutes to 1 hour 14 minutes and 40 seconds, faster than thousands of women and men. Did you have an expectation to win the half marathon?
Yeah, sure. I had, because I was strong enough and I knew I could win.
No strangers to success, 3 members of the Duma running team placed in the top 6 in the Twin Cities Marathon last month.
We should have finished 1, 2, 3, but we finished 4th, 5th, and 6th. Why settle being good while there's opportunity to be great?
Their path to the finish line began in Kenya, then went through Coon Rapids. David Two-Way shares his story through a translating teammate.
Everybody runs where I come from, but I can say I was among the fastest.
When I went to high school, I started school competition.
All my life I love running. When I was young, I would do, especially in Kenya, it's not like here, so we usually go to school while running because it's far. There is no buses to take us to school, so that's why I grew up running, like 3 miles, 3 miles coming back.
David Two-Way, Kipchumba Chilimo, Jibishi, her husband Abraham Chalanga, and more all came to train in Coon Rapids because of one man.
In Kenya we have a lot of time trials from agents coming from Europe, America, and Asia. So I went to Europe, but I didn't like the performance there. So I went back home, Kenya, for training, and that's when William Kosgei, my manager, came for time trial, and I got that opportunity to come to the US. It's because of my agent, William Kosgei, because he lives here in Coon Rapids, so that's why I'm here in Coon Rapids.
William Kosgei came to the United States from Kenya to run distance collegiately in New Mexico. He was later drawn to Minnesota for a reason many leave it.
I believe it was in 1999 when my brother-in-law, Joshua Kipkemboy, came and ran the Twin Cities. So I just came and see him, and I actually came and see him, and I kind of liked the place. I mean, it was different when you consider down south there's no snow. So when I came to these Twin Cities, I realized, oh, there's something called snow, and I kind of liked it. So I moved back, and then decided to move and live here.
With his competitive running days behind him, William wanted to share what he's learned with others.
When I moved to Coon Rapids, I went to athletic office at Coon Rapids High School because I love running and I know what it has actually done for me. And I wanted just to give back. I wanted to get involved in motivating young kids to get involved in athletics, especially running. And I say, well, since I kind of have a unique perspective in running, Kenya has dominated the long and middle distance for quite some time. And I said, well, why don't I just go and teach these kids what I know?
4 months after joining the Coon Rapids High School cross-country team as an assistant coach in 2007, William had another goal: to develop world-class athletes from where he lives and where he came from.
Conception of the running club, to be able to have the kids from United States, in the near future, have them being able to go back to Kenya and train, get to find out what does these people do to be able to dominate the long and middle distance. It's not like they're super being, but the type of hard work that they do and the struggles that they go through. And I want to be able to have kids or even sub-elite runners go to Kenya and be able to experience that. They get to learn about the culture, who are these people, and also being able to come and realize how fortunate to be an American, how fortunate to be to have so many things that sometimes we can take for granted.
William named the group Duma, the Swahili word for cheetah, training fast runners to compete in major races.
Cheetah is actually one of those fastest and also bravest animals. In order for them to survive or to eat, they have to be on their toes.
William and his Duma team say there's no mystery to why Kenyan distance runners are so successful.
High altitude, and people like run.
Number one is altitude, and then number two is working really hard. We do a lot of training. Other than people seeing us competing in races, they don't know how much training we're putting in. We do a lot of training, over 100 miles a week.
For David Tuwe, who finished 6th in the Twin Cities Marathon, and his teammates, it's a yearly cycle going from their homes in Kenya to living and training with William in Coon Rapids.
Life has been really good, so good since I started coming to Minnesota. Yes, I have a family back home. There's a wife and 2 kids. That's why I come to the US, let's say twice a year. I usually come on March after winter, and then go back on July for preparation, and then come back in September.
Kipchumba Chalimo, who finished 5th in the marathon, says it's a difficult process, but a rewarding one.
First time, 3 mega things you have to train live. Training in the morning, speed walk, and recovery. What I enjoy in running with crew, meeting new friends.
They have helped me because, first of all, inviting me to stay here in Minnesota, and also taking me to races, and also the group training. We do training together, so it's good. It helps a lot.
William often brings his Duma team to train with the Coon Rapids High School cross-country team.
I could adjust my training, and then I could let them know when I'm free, when my training is not hard. Like today, I could go there in their school, or we come here and then we train together.
Abraham Chalanga, who finished 4th in the Twin Cities Marathon and won the Cleveland Marathon, has already returned to Kenya to train.
He has to prepare for the next year races. Yeah, marathon is a long way. It's hard and it's not easy.
At age 36, David says he hopes his best times are still ahead of him.
I have a lot of goals, especially running under 2 hours 6 minutes in the full marathon. I have a lot of goals and hopes that I can do better than the way I'm doing now.
David and Kipchumba say they come back around each year for more than a chance at victory.
I love to be here in Minnesota and Coon Rapids. It's a nice people.
Life has been much better since I came to Minnesota.
4 Duma runners ended the season in Milwaukee on a high note, winning the marathons and half marathons for both men and women. The Olympic time trials are scheduled for February in Los Angeles. Still to come, how a heavy bag and gloves are offering a Coon Rapids family fun and fitness. Stay with us.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
With the fall season winding down and the colder temps on the way, many of us look to stay active indoors. One Coon Rapids family is finding its own way, one punch at a time.
I always wanted to be a boxer, and we just saw the Rocky movie, so I was really into boxing.
I run in here, and I get Mom to come in, and then she actually starts getting into it when she finds out that there's no actual sparring, and she thought it would be a good idea.
The next day, we went to the boxing place, and it was like a really good workout, and we started loving it and came here.
Rebecca Bragg says she's been searching for ways to keep her family moving, but didn't expect to see them throwing punches.
I've been looking for something that we can do just as fitness, because I think it's important that we all stay fit. I was thinking it would be a little intimidating walking into a boxing gym and what is this middle-aged woman and little boy doing here, you know, but it's not like that at all.
She and her daughters Sasha and Gigi and son Nicholas gave boxing a shot.
It was very hard, but it was fun, and I really enjoyed it.
It was hard. Everything just kind of got worn out in the warm-up.
I was kind of afraid. I was like, I don't want to get punched in the face. And then they said, no, it just was bag. I was like, okay. So we tried it out, and I was just getting like really tired. I didn't think I could make it through.
Although it was a challenge, the Braggs say coming back for another round was a unanimous decision.
The day after, I just feel really strong. It's fun just punching the bag.
This is good because we come here and then it's kind of individual. We get our bag and we go at it. And there's a little bit of competition. Sometimes there's a little bit of banter about who worked harder and, you know, who was slacking and who was really working hard, and so that's mostly in fun.
Title Boxing in Coon Rapids opened in June with 10 members and has grown to about 220. It offers 25 classes per week, and although there's no sparring, instructor Robert Dawson says sessions train technique and push members to their limits.
It's a great workout, you know, you're gonna get stronger, you're gonna get leaner. Here it's a club, you know, we're not a gym, we're a club, you know, so we kind of have that togetherness feel, and the more you come, the more you learn, and the more efficient you get, and it's something that you look forward to doing.
Rebecca says it also offers lessons other workouts can't.
They would be prepared should they ever need to defend themselves and know how to throw a punch and how to recover.
The Braggs come to work out about 3 times a week and say they've noticed the benefits.
Well, I feel like I have the punching better, and then all the core exercises, like I can do them better now.
Well, I don't get worn out as easily. The punches, like when he says jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, it just comes natural.
When it comes to the punches, I really like doing the hooks because it's like, it feels like powerful when you do it.
Great energy, and they're honestly really proficient and really sound. They've really mastered moving their bodies and really getting their body involved in all of their punches.
I gave the workout a try myself, and although I made it through, it wasn't easy, and I won't be stepping into the ring anytime soon.
We only come forward here. We only come forward. There we go.
First time giving it a try.
Yeah, so we got to work on your hook, though.
Okay.
You know, your hook was more like this, so if your hands are up here, your hook was like right around here, which isn't, you know, much. So when I want you to hook, I want you to come around so that you're here. We're going to work on your hook so that next time you throw them a little more efficiently, okay?
Okay. Other than that?
There you go. Let's work, let's work.
Outside of that, I think you did a swell job for your first time.
Okay.
Retired from the Navy with her husband still stationed in the military, Rebecca says the instructors push everyone to work hard, but they're no drill sergeants.
Way to work, way to work.
It's good, but you do feel motivated. You want to keep up, you want to not stop, you want to improve your technique, and you want to improve your speed and improve your power, and you know, all of these things. And they do seem to be able to encourage people along the way.
Already on the wrestling team, Gigi says she wants to box competitively too.
You'd ever want to try sparring when you get older?
Yeah, because it just sounds fun.
Hoping to start
as young as I can possibly be.
10-year-old Nicholas says he feels the same.
Would you ever want to spar yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Have you done that yet?
No.
Okay. When do you think you would want to do that?
Anytime. I don't know. My mom's a big fan of that.
Well, we'll see.
They're awesome, honestly. You know, they're growing. It's really cool to see Mom do it with them. It's, you know, it's what I would say, what I would look at as leading by example. She's wanting to live a healthy life and do something and be disciplined and diligent in it, and they're following. And I think that's great.
I mean, I've seen boxing and stuff in the movies. I didn't know it's something kids could actually do. It's a lot of fun, and I think that people should come out and give it a try.
I think it's good, like teach you how to defend yourself, and
it's a great workout. I feel like way stronger.
You come in here, regardless of how your day went, but once you start hitting that bag, you automatically feel better.
It's not a place to be intimidated of. I feel like, you know, nobody's going to make fun of you or look at you funny if you aren't able to do certain things. A person would be surprised how much they actually are able to do.
Glad I'm still here. Title Boxing has classes 7 days a week, and for more information, go to their website. Up next, we head to the Coon Rapids Senior Center to find out how veterans are helping each other while helping themselves to a cup of coffee. Stay with us.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
This month we recognize those who served our country in the military during war times and peace. But we found out how for a group of seniors in Coon Rapids, every Wednesday is Veterans Day.
Buckleyfield, Colorado, to basic training, and in Amarillo, Texas, and home for 2 weeks, and Ypsilanti, Michigan was B-24 factory mechanic school, and then Salina, Kansas, to work on B-29s, and then Seattle, Washington, B-29 school.
I was 17, we joined the Marine Corps in 1948, my twin brothers and I.
Decades after their service in the armed forces ended, these men and women still share a strong connection and coffee.
You never know what we're going to talk about. It really isn't that much about ex-military service.
You learn a little bit about every branch of the service, the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard, but it's very interesting.
Every Wednesday morning, the Coon Rapids Senior Center gets a bit louder when veterans who served in wars dating back to World War II and peace times in between gather to tell stories.
We had a veteran that moved to Coon Rapids from Hibbing, and up in Hibbing he had started a similar group. He came down here and started our group, and just another, you know, group for socializing and companionship and storytelling. So that's how it got started. Officially they start at 8:30, but we laugh because they start coming in at 7:30 or sometimes even earlier.
Some talk about the pain they suffered.
My brother Ron and I went over there together, and he got killed right alongside of me November 28, 1950.
Retired Marine Buck Sergeant William Lillydahl earned a Purple Heart for his efforts during the Korean War.
I was actually wounded 3 times. The first one I got the Purple Heart was I was on a foxhole, and there was an explosion, and I woke up on a tank. The second one I got, there was the Chinese guy bayoneted me in the arm. The third time I got on the truck, was a big explosion. Then I woke up on the ground. About a week later, I left Korea. I went to the Philippines for rehab.
They continue their service at the Senior Center, offering advice to fellow veterans.
I've even met guys in here that didn't even know that you can get a hearing aid from the VA. They had no idea. Then I had one guy sat beside me and he says, I've been up there twice and I got denied. He says, I give up. I says, what branch of the service were you in where they taught you that you are allowed to give up? You don't do that. Upward, onward, forward, soldier. Go after what's coming to you. So he went back again. He came back to the meeting. He hugged me and thanked me. He says, what's this all about? He says, I finally got approved.
Every once in a while, someone from Anoka County Veterans Services will show up and share another new benefit, or they'll have speakers from time to time. But so yeah, they really do kind of learn about those different things.
And they're here to share laughs.
It's kind of a BS section, you know. The guys all tell their stories, you know, but it's interesting.
We have some guys in that group that are in their 90s from World War II, and then there's some younger veterans in there, and they all share stories, and I think they get a lot out of it when they compare service from 60 years ago, 70 years ago to today. It's interesting. I think they really enjoy that. We welcome veterans of all ages, and yeah, they should definitely come and check it out because it's a good chance for socializing, coffee and goodies, meet some new friends, get out of the house. It's a really nice group.
And I look forward to coming to it too, so. And it's free food, goodies.
Real nice bunch of guys, and if somebody's sick or something, we usually have a card they pass around and everybody signs it. And I know I was in the hospital one time, and a few years ago, and I got a card from them, and it really means something. I really appreciated it, and I suppose maybe other veterans do too, because there's that camaraderie between the guys, and they just, if they can help somebody or some way or another, it's good.
The Veterans Group invites any veterans to join them at the Senior Center on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Another veteran and longtime Coon Rapids volunteer who was once named Snowflake Days King has died. In September, we introduced you to Lee Tate during a music therapy session at Cherrywood Advanced Living in Andover. While in hospice care, a music therapist from Mary T came in weekly to allow him to express himself and to give him a distraction from the pain as he battled leukemia. Afterward, he said his pain was cut in half. Lee passed away on October 20th, surrounded by his family. He was 88 years old. Coming up, how siblings from Coon Rapids are brewing up interest in Anoka. Stay with us.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet? There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Thanks for watching Community Close-Up. We'll leave you in downtown Anoka, where a brother and sister are fulfilling a dream, one growler at a time. I'm Joe Nelson. We'll see you next month.
I got to the point where I was brewing a couple batches each week on that 1 gallon system, and I eventually went to the 5 gallon system. I kind of realized the big picture of the brew process.
About a year ago, Jesse Hoff of Anoka decided it was time to make his beer making hobby a career.
I loved the brewery atmosphere. I loved the taproom atmosphere. So I wanted to do something like that back in Minnesota. And the first thing that I actually searched for was a partner in the project.
My brother was telling me about how he had this great vision to create a tap room in downtown Anoka. And he had a business plan put together, and he is very, cautious when he does things. And my first reaction was, let's do it.
Jesse and his sister Ashley Hoff knew they had to bring their beer to Anoka, but tap rooms were barred from downtown.
There had never been a tap room in downtown Anoka, so the city was actually very, very good and helpful. They worked with us to change the zoning laws so that we could be downtown. And when that started to go through, we looked at a few different spaces in the area, and we stumbled across this one because it was 2 adjacent spaces, and we saw the idea of opening them up.
One of the names I came up with was 10K Brewing. 10K Brewing being brewed in the land of 10,000 lakes, because I wanted our beer and the tap room and the brewery to represent Minnesota.
And a motto to match.
Our saying is nice beer, nice people. That means a lot to us. It means that we're nice people, we work with nice people, cultivate a culture in the Anoka area in Minnesota to bring nice beer to this area as well.
With consent to ferment from the city of Anoka, the Hoffs went to work.
When we first moved into this space, it was actually 2 completely separate spaces. It was a holistic healing place and a winemaking shop. The building itself is 135 years old, so it's a very old building, has a lot of history. And unfortunately, over the years, these older buildings, in order to be able to build a shop in here, it's just cheaper to kind of cover up the layers as you go. So it had 3 to 5 layers of flooring, depending on what side you are on. It had 3 layers of drywall over the original brick, and the original 16-foot high ceilings were covered up by layers of suspended ceiling. So the demo process was probably the most rigorous out of the entire construction process.
We blew out the wall here We uncovered about 4 layers of flooring to get down to the original hardwood floors, which then we sanded and stained. We wanted to keep it a rustic industrial vibe, and we wanted to reuse and repurpose a lot of items. So we have reclaimed wood on our walls. We have salvaged metal on the front of our bar.
Before the first flush, restroom floors needed change.
It looks easy. And then you actually start doing it, and it takes you weeks because I had to put them down one by one, and that was one of my most frustrating moments, but they turned out really awesome.
It took more than pennies to bring suds to 2nd Street. Prospective patrons pitched in before pints could be poured.
We actually did a crowdfunding campaign online, and our Kickstarter backers donated over $31,000 to help us move this project further than what we wanted to take it. With the craft beer community, Anoka citizens, our friends, and our family, we were able to deliver a tap room that is not only functional, but it really restores the history to this building.
We were just blown away by all the support that we got.
Connoisseurs of craft cold ones will need to speak up to keep their favorite flavors on tap.
People may come in and suggest things for us, and we have the ability to try that out because we are a smaller system. We'll have 4 to 5 beers rotating at any time, and I think it'll be a little bit something for everybody.
We're always going to try to offer a range of different beers on tap. Especially for the northern area, we feel that lighter beers like Hefeweizens, Blondes, things like that, we'll try to keep those on taps at all times, as well as the people who like the really aggressive beers like the IPAs, double IPAs, stouts, porters, and then everything in the middle.
Nearby restaurants offer delivery or pickup for 10K customers to eat at the tap room.
Instead of leveraging food trucks, we worked with the local restaurants.
We will have local musicians come and play. We'll have comedians. We may have a bingo night. We just want to kind of mix it up, do something different in downtown Anoka that nobody else really has.
Jesse and Ashley say they wanted taps flowing earlier, but didn't want to cut corners.
There's just been a ton of pressure on this project to get going. Our licensing took a little bit longer on the project than we had liked, as well as getting some of the equipment in. Those delays put us back about a month and a half. But you know, for the most part, we're kind of glad that we took that time to do things right because we feel like we're going to deliver a better product in the end.
On a daily basis, I get 10 emails or Facebook messages saying, when are you going to open? When are you going to open? That's the #1 question. And we really pushed hard, but when it came down to it, renovating a 130-year-old building was not easy, and every brick you break down, there's something else behind it that you need to fix. So it delayed us a little bit, but we sat down and we thought we wanted to just take our time so that when we did open the doors, it was perfect. We were proud of it, and it was something that everybody in Anoka can be proud of and call a place of their own too.
The Hoff siblings, originally from Coon Rapids, say working with family has made the process a smooth one.
Working with my brother has been pretty easy, actually. We get along great. There are a lot of stressful times, but you just got to remember that we're the only ones here. We're the only ones who's going to get the job done. So we just work together and we make sure that what needs to happen happens.
Ashley smiles, seeing the dream become a reality, and says she hopes many more will do the same.
I always kind of saw the vision from the get-go, but when you are covered in brick dust and bleeding and, you know, in tears, sometimes you think, is it ever really going to happen? But now, every day that I walk in here, it's just a labor of love, and I'm so proud. And me and my brother did such a good job, and my dad, or our dad, he basically built this entire place from ripping it down and putting it all together, so we owe everything to him.
Jesse says those who stop in will see how 10K stands out.
We'd love to have people up here in the Anoka area and experience this. Our brewery is not like any other brewery that you can experience in Minnesota. You can get food from 7 different local restaurants. You can get Closeup cold brew coffee. You can get Whistler craft soda, Minnesota nice water, as well as true micro craft beer brewed on a small system by hand here on site. And when you're done, we have 5 or 6 bars in the downtown area that you can go and enjoy as well as many shops. You just can't get that anywhere else in Minnesota.
10K Brewing is a completely unique experience. It's a kind of your little hometown, small town tap room. Our whole thing is nice beer, nice people. So when you come in, whether you're brand new or you're a regular, you're going to be treated the same every time, and we're going to be more than happy to sit down and pour you a beer.